By Suzuki Rivonia, the home of happy customers.
Tom London Show.
How's it? Welcome to the show. Tuesday afternoon. There's someone who feels good.
Thank you very much.
Alistair Jameson. Yeah, thank you very much, Alistair. He's feeling good today.
Thank you very much.
How's it? Welcome to the show. In this show, I'll give you a 10-point breakdown of the corruption at Tembisa Hospital as per the SIU interim report, which came out yesterday. Everything you need to know about the corruption at the Tembisa Hospital on the show today. So stick around and, by educating ourselves and learning more about what's going on around us, we become more powerful in this fight against corruption. Tonya is not with us today. She's having a roller coaster ride at the moment. So actually, as you join us today, perhaps you could just send good wishes and love and prayers to Tonya, because she really is dealing with a lot in her life at the moment. And I said to her, we had a talk about this over the weekend. I said, listen, while you need to focus on certain things in your life, you don't have to worry about the Tom London Show. So you come to us when you're able to and you've got the energy. And that's the deal I got with Tonya at the moment. But yeah, it would be very nice to see some hello Tonyas and sending all our loves in the comment section below. That would be very nice to see. Alistair Jameson joins us from Primrose Hill in Germiston. He got them zummas underneath him, but he's still cool above ground. He's above ground level today and bleeding. Who you sponsored by today? K-Way? Sponsored by K-Way.
I'm sponsor free today.
Sponsor free today. All right. Couldn't get a sponsor this week.
Couldn't get a sponsor.
So hello to you. If you're new to the show and you're watching on YouTube, the audience is great. Thank you to our YouTube viewers. Every week we get more viewers, and I'd like to thank you for joining us on YouTube. Don't forget you can comment. We'll read them out live on the show. Same applies to our Facebook Live family, otherwise known as Tom's Army, joining us live today. Yeah. Say how's it in the comment section. We'll read your comments and your hellos out on the air. Now, I would like to take us back to a year ago. This came up in my memories yesterday. So it's been a year since my brothers left. And I just wanted to play you this video. That's my brother Greg going off back to Abu Dhabi, and I haven't seen him in a year.
Have a safe flight.
And my young nephew Chris, who currently lives in Dubai, and I haven't seen him for about a year as well. And I was looking at this video yesterday and thinking a few things. Number one, gee whiz, what a recovery I've had, and how grateful I am to be alive and to be talking to you today. But also how much I miss my family, and how important family is in all of our lives and close friendships. And then I started thinking about the national conversation about healthcare. A lot of people say I kicked off a conversation in this country when I made my viral video just over a year ago that got tens of millions of views around South Africa and the world. And all of a sudden, South Africa was talking about the conditions and the treatment inside our public hospitals. You know, the bird's been quiet for two hours, and now he decides to chip in. I don't know. Billy, I'll send you to KFC if you're not careful. I know he's going to squawk, so I'm going to have to put a blanket on him just now. But anyway, a year ago, we were talking about the treatment and the conditions in our hospitals. That was the conversation. And then about 6 months ago, the conversation shifted towards foreigners and whether we should allow foreigners the access to our public healthcare system in South Africa. And we saw the rise of groups like Operation Dudula and March on March, barring foreigners from access and saying the argument is that it's foreigners that are causing the trouble in our healthcare system, or they are the straw that breaks the camel's back. And it's very easy to go down that line and agree wholeheartedly, and also very easy for the news media to be filled with the stories and ignore the real issue, or what I regard as the real issue. And today I'd like to take you to the real issue. I want to talk about the SIU report that came out on the corruption at Tembisa Hospital. And I know I'm going to have to, so I tell you what, I need to cover that bird because he's going to get more and more vocal. Why 2 hours you say nothing, dude, and the moment I go on air, Billy.
Play that video I sent you.
I haven't got it on standby. I can do. You know what? Let's cut to Suzuki Rivonia quickly to Liam Winter, and when I come back, I'll give you a 10-point breakdown on the corruption at Tembisa Hospital. Coming up after this break, I'll be taking you through everything you need to know about what happened there.
Hi, I'm Liam Winter, your Suzuki sales advisor. Are you in the market for a new vehicle and not sure what you want? Don't worry, we've got the right vehicle for you. Are you looking for a small, compact and fuel-efficient vehicle? We have that vehicle for you. Our Suzuki Celerio is available in manual and automatic transmissions and boasts a fantastic fuel efficiency. Do you need to move people around or rather have a big family? No stress, we've got the right people mover for you. Our Suzuki Ertiga is a 7-seater and is also available in manual or automatic transmission. Are you looking for something that has style and modern features? Well, look no further. The Suzuki Fronx is the perfect vehicle for you. Also available in manual and automatic transmissions, as well as our GL and GLX spec. If you're not in the market for your family or yourself, but rather for your business, don't despair. We've got the perfect commercial vehicles for you, just like our Eco Panel van with a payload of 650 kilograms. So, are you an off-roading aficionado or just love going off the grid with your family for a quick camping trip? Suzuki's got you covered. Our beautiful and rugged Suzuki Jimny will take you on adventures that you've never been before. Also, believe it or not, available in automatic and manual transmission. So come and put us to the test. We have got any model that you would like to test drive available at any time. Pop in to Suzuki Kyalami or Suzuki Rivonia today and see why they call us the home of happy customers.
And thank you to Suzuki Kyalami and Suzuki Rivonia for sponsoring the show. Okay, the bird is covered and we're ready for our 10-point breakdown of the corruption at Tembisa Hospital as per the SIU interim report. It's what the media is talking about and everyone wants to talk about it. I got news channels SMSing me like crazy asking me to appear on shows, and I'm not gonna. I'm gonna do my breakdown not via the news channels. I'm gonna do it straight to you. You don't have to switch on to another channel. You just get it right here at the Tom London Show. Let's start with the scale of the looting. When we talk about looting at Tembisa Hospital, what scale are we talking about? Well, the SIU uncovered a sprawling network of corruption and procurement fraud, resulting in over 2 billion rand. Let me just repeat that number for you, because it's easy to talk about billions nowadays as if they're 1 rand coins. 2 billion rand misappropriated from Tembisa Hospital between 2018 and 2024. Now, it wasn't someone who went along and just took 2 billion rand through one company. It was way more sophisticated than that. There were 2,207 procurement bundles. That means somebody had to sign, or people had to sign 2,207 times for this. There wasn't just one company that went along to Tembisa Hospital and raided it. There were 207 service providers inside these networks. 4,501 purchase orders. This 2 billion was spread across 4,500 purchase orders. That should give you some idea of the scale of the looting in one of our hospitals. 2 billion rand. That's point one. Point two, there were 3 major syndicates identified. There were 3 coordinated criminal syndicates. They involved officials. They involved external actors. They orchestrated the bulk of the fraud through collusion, bid rigging, and money laundering, with the investigation revealing no competitive tendering and widespread circumvention of procurement rules. So they just bypassed everything. These 3 major syndicates. Well, which syndicates have been identified? Let's start with the first one. The Maumela Syndicate, led by Hangwane Morgan Maumela. This syndicate handled The syndicate handled, I think it was 1,700 and odd bundles. 1,728 bundles worth over 816 million rand via 41 connected suppliers, including links to imprisoned businessmen and the guy whose name is coming up on the Madlanga Commission at the moment, Vusimuzi Kat Matlala. They have seized assets including luxury vehicles. We've heard them mention this in the press reports yesterday. Lamborghinis, Bentleys, and properties worth 520 million rand. So these people who went along and stole this money, these are allegations in this SIU interim report. These people that went along, I suppose I should use the word allegedly, and stole this money, didn't go and hide it and ferry it away into a foreign tax haven. They flaunted it. They bought cars worth millions and millions of rands, properties worth millions of rands. For example, a 75 million rand house in Bantry Bay. For years, I have said that in South Africa, we need to be careful when we define entrepreneurs. And we need to be careful that we define an entrepreneur as a guy who drives his Bentley or his Lamborghini Urus up and down Rivonia Road. Because very often the people that go and flaunt their wealth like that on that scale are involved in nonsense like this. And they shouldn't be our heroes in society. But these guys drove around like heroes, living in houses like billionaires. That's one syndicate, the Maumela syndicate. Then they identified another syndicate, the Mazibuko syndicate. And the Mazibuko syndicate, connected to Rudolf Mazibuko, manipulated 651 bundles worth over 816 million rand. My apologies. 651 bundles of 283 million rand. Still a huge amount of money. They used shell companies to inflate prices on non-medical items like children's jeans. And the SIU found assets that exceed 42 million rand in this syndicate, including multiple Gauteng and Western Cape properties. Let's move on to the interest in Syndicate X. We haven't seen the names attached to this yet. But this is Syndicate X and the smaller groups, as the SIU put it. And Syndicate X, an unnamed third syndicate, controlled 1,237 bundles for nearly 96 million rand. It's almost 600 million rand. They used sophisticated money laundering via conduit accounts. And they found around 150 million rands worth of assets, while 6 smaller syndicates siphoned over 164. These are the small fry, right? The small fry siphoned over 164 million rand through similar front-end tactics. So those are the syndicates that were identified. And if you've got comments or you've got questions, pop them in the comment section. I'll read them out in a moment. Now, all of this cannot happen without the help of people on the inside. So how rotten are the rotten people in our healthcare system, and specifically in the payment chain and inside Tembisa Hospital? There have been at least 15 current and former Gauteng Department of Health and Hospital officials who received over 122 million rand in bribes. That's the bribery amount. And I looked at that and I thought, for 2 billion rand, that's around 5%. It's a very small cost to do that kind of business. So although it's a huge amount of money, our public officials come cheap, baby. Examples like a level 9 employee pocketing 30 million rand, an assistant nurse getting 7.3 million, and management figures receiving 950,000 to 22 million rand each. How many people have been referred to disciplinary procedures?
0.
116 referred. But the question is, what's going to happen to them? The next part of our 10-point presentation today is fraudulent procurement. these tactics to procure money. These schemes involved splitting orders below 500,000 Rand. That's how they evaded the tender process. They fabricated invoices. They fabricated delivery notes for phantom deliveries. They forged tax clearances, BEE affidavits, and company registrations. They just forged them. Plus 1.1 million Rand paid over to losing bidders along the way to simulate some kind of competition. How much value for money was returned in this process? What did we get for that 2 billion Rand? Well, it turns out we got nothing. Despite these massive expenditures, no goods were delivered to the hospital, with funds funneled through companies leaving patients without essential services, and expenditure dropped 73% post-2022 SIU interventions. So the moment the SIU got involved, these guys pulled out, and expenditure dropped 73%. Point 9 today is systemic failures. There were officials, including the former CEO, who is now deceased. They ignored non-compliant bids. They abdicated their duties. They enabled the capture. And horrifyingly, and I'm glad her name gets mentioned on a daily basis in this country, whistleblower Babita Deokaran flagged these issues in 2021, and 12 days before she was taken out, sent a message to her boss to say, I'm worried about our lives. It was Babita Deokaran who highlighted the culture of blind eye turning and the lack of rotation amongst suppliers. And for that, I think she deserves a Medal of Honor. It's high time that people like Babita Deokaran, in my opinion, get awarded the presidential honors that sports people and business and luminaries get. So what's going to happen? What do the SIU recommend and what are the actions? Well, there are 4 major cases involving 42 million Rand in bribes. They've been referred to the NPA for prosecution. 25 matters to SAPRA for regulatory breaches, and there have been civil suits to recover the funds. And the recommendations include rigorous vetting, lifestyle audits for officials, whistleblower protections, and barring corrupt individuals from public service to prevent recurrence. So just kick them out and never let them back in. As I was looking at this scandal, I wondered if 2 billion Rand was siphoned out of one hospital in South Africa, how much is being taken out of other hospitals? And the question there, it's a huge question mark, and we don't really know the answer. We can guess. But I did a bit of checking to see if there were similar corruption scandals in South African hospitals, and it came up with a few of them. Do you remember the PPE scandal? Just 4 years back, over 2 billion Rand was put aside for emergency procurement for personal protective equipment. People inflated the prices, kickbacks were thrown around. The SIU recovered 500 million of that 2 billion. We had the Digital Vibes 150 million Rand irregular spend on communications contracts. There have been no major prosecutions yet, despite this evidence of collusion. So there's one. Nothing done yet. One that's often forgotten, in the 2010s, we went through a Gauteng health tender for hospital bed scandal. A 300 million Rand plus contract was awarded to a private firm for bed suppliers at public hospitals, including Chris Hani Baragwanath. It involved bid rigging and overpricing. And what happened? No beds were delivered, leading to patient harm. That was part of the broader health probe into 1.5 billion Rands in irregular tenders. This is going back 10 years or more. We skip over to another province and we see the Eastern Cape Nelson Mandela Academic Hospital and the Life Esidimeni scandal. Not pure procurement fraud, but corruption-enabled negligence. 144 psychiatric patients died due to cost-cutting transfers to unlicensed NGOs amid budget mismanagement and alleged kickbacks. The Zondo Commission dealt with this, and they highlighted graft in outsourcing. The former health MEC was charged with culpable homicide. Skip over to KwaZulu-Natal to the Tele Mogorane Hospital. This has been ongoing since the 2010s. 800 million rand plus in fraudulent tenders for construction and supplies, including ghost contractors and inflated invoices. And the SIU probe revealed official collusion. The hospital remains incomplete, costing lives via service delays. That's linked to a broader KZN health graft exceeding 1 billion rand. And in the Free State Pelenomi Hospital, just a few years back, PPE and linen scandals have totaled 200 million rand plus. The tenders are split once again to evade oversight, with bribes given to officials. It echoes Tembisa in non-delivery of goods and exacerbating shortages. Now, the SIU referrals led to arrests, but the recovery of the money was limited. It's these kind of cases that highlight the pervasive issues like political interference and weak oversight, per the Sector Anti-Corruption Forum. And the total health sector losses exceed 10 billion rand annually, per estimates, undermining the care for millions. May I say that again? Exceeds 10 billion rand annually. And that's the scale of the problem we're dealing with. I am so glad that we are finally at this point, that we've made it through the initial conversation as South Africans about the care and the facilities in our hospitals. We haven't yet dealt with the issue of illegal immigrants in South Africa and their right to health care. And to me, that is almost a side issue when you take a look at the scale of this problem that sits in front of us. And I hope that this is the problem that is going to be spoken about as we try and improve our health sector for all in South Africa. I'm very keen to know what you've got to say about this. I'm keen to know what extra points you can add to this conversation or what solutions you can offer in the comment section. So we'll go to the comment section in just a moment, but let me ask Alistair what he thinks, because I know he'll think something. Yeah.
I'm absolutely shocked and disgusted at the levels of corruption and basically theft that's been going on.
That, you bring up a good point, Alistair, because we use these words, they're almost euphemisms now. Corruption. It sounds nicer than theft, but it's stealing. It is stealing from people who are vulnerable. And the resources that you are stealing means that someone gets denied a decent bed to sleep in. It means someone gets denied decent service. It means someone gets denied the medication or the treatment. It means someone gets denied, and it means people die. That's what it means at the end of the day. Each of these billion rands contributes to the suffering and the demise of South Africans in our system.
The traffic department in KZN had a roadblock down the south coast in the last couple of days. And out of that roadblock, I was shocked to see and to hear that majority, I want to say the vast majority, but I don't want to be misquoted, majority of the people that they arrested and carried away in paddy wagons, as they used to call them, were medical fraternity people, doctors, nurses,
really? From
the hospitals down the south coast. Drunk.
My word. Well, there we go.
Beating.
Let's go to the
law.
The one thing I don't want to say is that all of our hospital officials and workers are. Can you imagine trying to work in the system as an honest person? And I reckon the bulk are. Can you imagine going to work every day, trying to get the system to work, trying to have a good work ethic, and then you've got people stealing the very resources you need from underneath your feet? It's sickening. Margaret Guider says, hello, boys and girls. Glenda Lauren says, hello, dysfunctional family. Have a great day. Una Guider's on board. So is Rosie Brown. Marlene Falkenberg has joined us. Helen Mitvach is on board. On board. Moira LaRue says, hello, my only friends. Charmaine Ninaber says, good afternoon, team. So good to be together. Tom, I just want to say I saw Jenny interview with Operation Healing Hand. She looked amazing after the surgery. Yeah, she's looking great. Barbara Anglaus says, hi, everybody. Anita number 1 says, hello, hope you're all well. Sending big hands to Tonya and her mom and praying for them both. That's nice to see. Billy is bored. No, he just knows what time the show starts, and that's when he starts making a noise. Charmaine
Billy
says,
wants a starring feature.
yeah, he wants to be a co-host. Charmaine says, yes, Tom, so happy you were able to receive the help back to your health. Your family was amazing through it all. They were. Hello, Billy. No, don't start that. No hello, Billy's here. Uniguida says it's one of our guests and one of our hosts' birthdays tomorrow. So which guest? You're going to have to tell me. But the host I know, because Tanya's a Scorpio, and it's not Scorpio season yet. It is Libra season.
It's not you.
And that means it's
No,
Alistair
no,
Jameson. So you're going to get a happy birthday song from me, a full song at the end of the show. All right? Never happens.
Okay.
But today, that will be your birthday present. Billy wants to be part of the show. No morbid stuff today. I'm sorry. It's too late.
Too late.
Margaret says Tembisa had a bad name for a very long time now. Bribery and corruption at its best and in blaming the foreigners. Hi from Perth, Oz. Mr. But I See says Gwen Sanders. Hi, Gwen. Thank you for joining us. Let's get the Tembisa news straight from you, says Margaret. Yeah, I've had these news channels saying, will you come on the show? And I'm like, no, I'm going to talk to my peeps where I can say everything I want to say and not be cut into 15-second sound bites.
Exactly.
Where are these darn people, Tom? They need to be brought to book. Well, the Syndicate X is interesting, isn't it? Because the names aren't there.
Yeah.
And what does that mean when names aren't there? Does it mean they don't know the names, or they do know the names and, we don't know what's going to happen if we put these names out? I can't say.
My biggest thing about that is the very person that highlighted the problem and voiced it was taken out.
That's right.
That is disgusting at the worst level.
You know, I think we should, as a society, talk about reparations to her family on behalf of South Africa, to say we are so sorry. That, you know, when something like that happens, the ramifications are huge. Not just the emotional and psychological ramifications on their family, but even the financial ramifications. And I do hope they've been looked after. And I do hope that journalists will look into this. And if they need support, we should give it to them. Unbelievable.
Should I start a backup money campaign?
Not yet, because we don't know if there have been payouts. Hanadine Odia says, unbelievable, disgusting. Isn't that the word we should all be using today? Disgusting.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, says Deborah Rotenbach. Absolutely abominable. Charmaine says, it's disgusting how this corruption is affecting our country. Now, that's a very good point, because if you take a look at every hospital in this country, I'm sure you'll find it. I'm sure you'll find, even in the cleanest hospital, somebody sold a 100 Rand pencil to the hospital the other day. But then it begs the question, what about all our other state entities and our departments? You know, this is just health that's been highlighted.
Tom, you know,
What's going on in the others? And what does that mean about South Africa? Sorry, Alistair, I just want this one point I want to get across. We are so good at talking ourselves down in this country. We are masters at pulling ourselves down, at pulling other people down, and talking ourselves down. And the biggest thing we say is this economy is stuffed. There's no money in South Africa. And my eyes tell me something very different when I drive on the highways and byways of this country, when I drive past shops and people with their business doors. And I know it's not easy. But we have a massive economy in South Africa. This isn't a baby, tiny, nothing economy. Sure, in terms of the US or Europe, we're small. But we're not nothing. For who we are and where we are, we're a massive economy. If a huge percentage of our money is just being squandered and stolen, then surely once we take corruption and stealing out of the equation and out of our economy, we will see an economy we do not recognize. That's my point. That there is money here. There's over 60 billion Rand a year to run our hospitals and clinics in Gauteng. But if 10 billion's been wasted, well...
I was going to say it's a mindset. It's the attitude that people have when it comes to things that are basic. I mean, as an example, I was taking a security guard. You know, you get these security companies put guards at the gates of complexes and stuff. And when I was working in security, I had to drive some of these guys around to the various sites, drop them off and do whatever. And the one day we were driving, it was myself and there's one gate guard in the car with me, and he was eating a lunch bar or one of these chocolate bars. He finished the chocolate bar, scrumpled up the paper, and opened the window and threw the paper out the window.
But that, you see, this goes back to our campaigns that we used to have. In the 70s and the 80s, we had the Zap It in the ZB campaign, and it was part of national conversation in this country that we want to keep our country clean. We haven't been talking about keeping our country clean for 30 years now. That's not a conversation we even have. It's not something we see between television programs or on our internet. We don't see any effort being made. So I look at these problems we have in our country and how easily they can be reversed with an attitude change. How easily they can be reversed, but we need to be honest with each other. And I think it might even go a bit deeper, these kind of corruption issues we're talking about, Alistair, might even go a bit deeper. That as we move towards individualism, as we've moved into this world where me, and as long as my needs are getting met, to hell with my neighbor. And we have moved into this age of individualism, as I call it. And as we do that, we lose a sense of community. We lose a sense of brotherhood or sisterhood. And we don't feel obliged to do anything for our fellow man. We only feel obliged to look after ourselves. And the height of that, the height of this disease, are the 6 million rand Lamborghini Uruses driving up and down Sandton and Camps Bay. That's the height of this disease. And I think as a country, we should have honest conversations about what it means to be an entrepreneur.
No.
We should have honest conversations about, how do I put this? If you've got 4 fancy cars in your 80 million rand house, it doesn't make you a hero. We need to have honest conversations about that.
What I don't understand is, how do you connect a house in Bantry Bay in Cape Town, which is anything from 12 million northwards.
This is 75.
There you go. To a hospital in Gauteng.
Well, you can connect it when you drive past that house in Bantry Bay and ask yourself the question, how many lives did that house cost to build? How many lives, South African lives?
It's not as if it's next door in like Sandton or that kind of place.
No.
It's not relevant to Tembisa
but
in
then,
any way
but then
whatsoever.
let's not start talking about the Cape Town being a haven for international criminals and syndicates. Perfect old Cape Town. Wendy Kutsia says, Charmaine finished her point by saying nothing's going to happen. Same as under commission, just a waste of so much money. Wendy Kutsia says, hello there, a little late, but here I am. How's it, Wendy? Thanks for joining us. We are run by criminals, which is so sad. Tracy Corson says, criminal, when you think of how that money could have been used for all the government hospitals, meant for the masses, and poor dear Corinne lost her life. My point exactly. Couldn't agree with you more, Tracy. I hope you're pressing the like, heart, ha, sad, cry, whatever button. As long as you press a button, you're a friend of mine. If not, I don't know what I'll do. If you do not press a button, then I will, I'll call the cops on you. Luister mooi. Nothing is going to happen to them. The rot starts at the top. Margaret Guider says, the greed in the mafia is beyond despicable. Even hell doesn't want them. What the hell are we going to do? Are we all going to end up at this rate? Crime pays all the way. Shocking. That's the word I used and put on the cover for the show today. Shocking. June Krobler says, no wonder we can't get help to government hospitals. Too many fraudsters. One pays the other one, and so on, like a circle. Can you imagine being at the bottom of that pile, going to work every day as a the cleaner or janitor, and then you watching people steal hundreds of millions and tens of millions and millions above you? How big the
number of Gucci handbags and
how big the temptation must how big the temptation must be when someone slips you 200 rand to turn the other way. Imagine what the Department of Health could have done with all that money. I saw this, says Patsy, but I haven't read all the news yet, and that's the problem. In 2 days, the news cycle changes and we forget it.
Yeah.
Lawless country, nothing will be done. It'll just continue. Peggy Lever has, thank you for tagging people. That's very kind of you, Peggy. Emily Hudson is on board. Glenda once again puts up Babita Diakoran lost her life because of this. Margaret Guider. Oh, you too, Margaret. Margaret Guider says she got a friendship request last night from Patrice Motsepe. And perhaps I should have accepted and not been too skeptical. Now, I also got one from Patrice Motsepe, but I don't think Patrice Motsepe woke up yesterday and thought, oh, goodness, I need to be friends with Margaret Guider and Tom London. I don't think that Patrice Motsepe, no. Eunice says, trust me, that's not Patrice Motsepe. Block and delete. Color in my rainbow. Agree with you 100% on Babita Deokaran, a true South African heroine. South Africa needs to root out corruption. So this is the kind of person who we need to put up on a pedestal. This is the kind of person who posthumously we need to award awards to. This is the kind of person we should build a statue for.
Yeah.
So that these become our heroes. Not some corrupt thief driving up and down the road in a fancy car, picking up oohs and ahs. Shame on this bunch. Charmaine Ninamba, Tom, there's not a government hospital, there's no corruption. It's so sad because many machines are never fixed because there's no money to repair broken machines. I wonder why.
And there's no money to wash all the sheets.
Well, not enough sheets. I wonder why.
Here we go.
Margaret, I also got a friend request from Patrice Motsepe, says Patsy. See, the people that accepted it and they're busy chatting to Patrice Motsepe, they're not saying anything in the comment section right now. They go, uh-oh.
Pretty soon they're going to get, dear sir,
yes.
you are a beneficiary of a 100 million rand.
Patrice is going to say, listen, I got to put this money in your bank account quickly, but I need to open one with 1,000 rand of your money. This is absolute disgusting, and that is treason. Good word, an interesting word to use in this conversation, Glenda.
Absolutely.
Is this treason?
I would say yes.
And as you watch this program, would you call it treason? People get denied life.
Oh boy.
What is the definition of treason? Will you look it up quickly, Alistair?
Yeah.
Are you able to get us a definition of treason? Karen Atwell says, why has it been allowed? Why has nothing been done about it? Because every hand greases the other. Diva, steal, skanda, said Dunlin last. Shocking and sickening. This is why our hospitals are in a state. This is why there's no money to fix the machines. This is why necessary operations can't take place at the best of times, says Patsy. Yeah, but if you took the media headlines for the last 6 months, it's because of the Zimbabweans. Corruption has been used on a daily basis, but no one has been arrested, says Glenda. Ain't that the truth? Margaret Guider says, I don't know what extra points to add to this discussion, Tom. Unless a miracle happens, we're done for. I believe in miracles, and I believe that these things can be turned around. It needs enough people to say enough. And once we get to that point, that's when it changes. Skokkend, said Dunlin. Sorry?
Sorry. A simple definition of treason.
Mm-hmm.
The offense of attempting to overthrow the government of one's country or of assisting its enemies in war.
Wow. Okay. Okay.
Betrayal of one's own country by attempting to overthrow the government through waging war against the state or materially aiding its enemies.
Okay. Well, interesting. If you call these criminal enterprises an enemy of the state and you're assisting them, you could be, I don't know, I'm not a lawyer, but you could be acting treasonously. Unfortunately, South Africa has a huge alcohol abuse problem, says Una. I've been thinking about that the last week, and I've got no idea why, because I'm not much of a drinker. But the last week I was thinking about how much damage alcohol causes in South Africa. I remember when I was working on talk radio, I was offered a lot of money to be the face of a gambling company at 702, one of the advertisers, and I said no to it. And I often wondered whether I did the right or wrong thing because it was a lot of money. But I still to this day can't take money from gambling organizations and alcohol suppliers. I just can't. I can't do it and then pretend that there isn't a problem that we've got. Hi guys, love you, says Sharon. Love you too. Oh, the drummer wakes up. How's it, boyki? Yeah.
He's had nothing to drum about for the last hour.
He's been depressed. We've got a depressed drummer in the studio. Thea Gates says, hello, awesome people. Beverly Ann Lloyd says, hi, Tom, Alistair. Hope you're both well. Hello, Billy. Everyone's saying hello, Billy.
Hello, Billy.
Margaret Guider and Alistair share a birthday. Shall we do this happy birthday thing?
Oh, boy.
Is it Margaret and Alistair? I've got to find a karaoke backtrack because I ain't doing this. Just no music behind me.
A cappella.
And I've got it happy. It's a big moment now. Big moment. I'm going to be singing. Happy birthday. Are you ready? Are you ready?
Yeah.
All right, here we go. One time only. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Margaret and Alistair. Happy birthday to you. How old are you now? How old are you now? How old are you, Margaret and Alistair? Happy birthday to you.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Tom.
There we go.
Thank you very much.
Don't say I don't sing for my supper
Totally
on the show.
Totally right, dude. Perfect thing.
Thank you, thank you. Brenda Hall says, hello, Tom and Elle. Lynn Nicholson says, afternoon, Tom. I'm disgusted and hurt with this Tembisa story. It makes me wonder, as I lay in Helen Joseph Hospital and watched like the food come, and it would be the same thing for lunch and dinner. They'd obviously just halved the portions. And when there were no sheets on the bed, and when the paint was falling off the walls, and now I sit back and I wonder, and I wonder, and I wonder, is that everything I saw around me that was wrong and dysfunctional, is that all linked back to this stealing? Stealing from the vulnerable is the worst crime. Couldn't agree more.
Oh, yeah.
Eunice says she's not shocked anymore. The corruption runs deep here and internationally. Nothing surprises me anymore. Now we talk about the machine, eh? Faith Answer says sickening. Sue Burta says, afternoon, Tom and Alistair. So enjoy your show. Love to Tanya and her mom. Thea Gates says, absolutely there's money in South Africa. And yes, it gets stolen. I wonder how much money gets stolen in this country. Hanadi Nodia says, I think we're opening a big can of worms. It's like the people have lost the ability to care about others. They're greedy and selfish. It's inhumane. Yeah, and it goes back to what I said a little earlier on. If we just have a country of 50 million people running around trying to have a better life for me, then we will never worry about the person next to us. And, you know, perhaps caring about the person next to you means you won't ever own a Lamborghini Urus. Perhaps caring about the people in your community means you'll never get to know what it's like to own a 75 million rand home in Bantry Bay. But perhaps caring about everybody else and caring about others will be your greatest contribution you could make to your country. Consider that, rotten people. I'm glad you're trying to see the other side of the economy. I'm so skeptical right now. Of course, because the more that gets stolen out of our economy, the less there is for the honest people. And so we start feeling the heat. Priscilla Liebenberg says, hello, you guys. It's disgusting to see how our tax money is spent. And great point you bring up, Priscilla. Thank you. This is our tax money. This is not money that came out of a printing machine just willy-nilly. This is our tax money. Nikki Hart says, hi, everyone. Hope everyone is well. I'm well. Hope you are too, Nikki. Yeah. Talking about hospitals, we have two big empty hospitals that are empty in Alberton. They're sitting there not being used. I don't understand this country. I've never understood those ghost hospitals and why they're not put into action. Never understood that. We don't see rubbish bins as well because they get vandalized, broken, and stolen, says Linda. Margaret Guider says, my problem is how deep does the corruption go in this country? Will we ever get out of this? Ethical leadership. Ethical leadership. The more we promote ethical leadership, the more we celebrate ethical leadership, the more it grows. But if we just keep celebrating ineptitude and theft, well, we'll have more of this. Rosemary Endicott says, hi, beautiful people. Una Guida says, I don't know. I don't think any of these people swimming in billions are humane and honest. This is interesting thing, this. And I had this conversation with Leon Lowe a couple of months back. That these very same people, their corruption is their theft is responsible for the deaths of people. These very same people are able to go home and read bedside stories to their children at night. These very same people are able to care for their mom and their dad and their brothers. They're able to care. These very same people. It speaks to the complexity of the human mind and underscores, exclamation marks, the effects of greed. Helen also got a request from Patrice. I think every Tom London show viewer got a request from Patrice. Lorinda Young says, if you go into a spa or a bottle store and see how those people spend money, it's sad. So many people battling to feed their household besides paying rent. And that's perhaps why they're going into these places. I will stick to my fellow human beings having a rough time and stand united with them. I can't bear the suffering. This guy. Me too, Margaret. I get ridiculous friends requests like a prince in Dubai. Yeah, right, says Dawn Stelfox. Charmaine Inaba says, unfortunately, Tom, your and my voice just doesn't carry any weight. It does. Our voices do carry weight. They carry weight when enough of them join together. Or, if it was an equation, you would have to add the volume aspect there. How loud we become. If we just whimper and we just sit with like this and go, oh no, what's for dinner? Then, we're going nowhere. But if we go, nah, not on my watch, what can I do? Can I join an organization like OUTA? Can I go picket outside a hospital? Can I be vocal about it when I talk to people? Spread the word. Yeah. Little things we can do, each one of us, to make for a better country.
Pick up your camera. Pick up your cell phone and start taking camera footage.
Yeah, well, we know how powerful that is. Tracy Corson says, I drove into Charlotte McEachern with 4 new hubcaps on my car. I drove out with none, all stolen. Daryl, that's nasty. Boo for you, man.
Oh, my Lord.
Come to think of it, Daryl's car has got 4 new hubcaps on. Just kidding. Stealing starts in the garage. So I know I'm making light of this. Sorry, Tracy, but the point is a good one. Stealing starts in the garage and works its way up. And that's what I'm talking about. You see, when you get to the bottom and you're the person responsible for looking after the cars in the parking lot and you don't get the R1 million bribe, well, you take the hubcaps. Because we can. What's going to happen? I have several requests from Roger Waters and Billy Joe Armstrong says, Uniguida, those scamsters know your taste. Moira Rue says, maybe there should be a big treason prison for corruptors. Good idea. Wendy Kutsia says, I worked senior sales consultant for a large corporate. We did tenders for government. We also quoted the same tenders to small companies. They would win the tender, although they couldn't have beaten our quotes. We would receive some orders from the small vendors. My question was how? Yeah. Do you remember when they blew up the tender box? There was an actual box in Pretoria and someone put a bomb in it and just blew up all the tenders once. I'd say we're all aware of the chronic corruption going on. It's an incurable disease with the current government. And that's...
Nikki Hart should know. She's dealing with it every day.
Yeah, so we've got this thing called democracy that we've all bought into, and the democratic process says if you don't like what's going on, vote it out. We're yet to get there, but it looks like we're getting there. Gambling is also an addiction. It's destroyed many families. I've seen that, and that's why I don't accept gambling advertisements on my shows. A big happy birthday, says Thea. The state of the country is taking a lot of people down with drugs and alcohol. Well done. Happy birthday to you, Alistair and Margaret. Happy birthday from your sister, says Mary Ann Elliott.
That's my sister.
There we go. Drum roll for Alistair's sister, please, Daryl.
Hey.
Wishing you both a fantabulous birthday. Okay, Tom, you make my day. Thank you. You make mine. Thanks for the birthday song. Happy birthday, Margaret and Ida. Tom, you know what's so sad? This is only one place. There's corruption in every organization where the government is involved. The hospital is just one of many. Thanks for your lovely song, says Margaret. Happy birthday. 16 going on 17, says Margaret. The 2 hospitals in Alberton were auctioned as far as I know, and the new Netcare Alberton built, says Barbara. Ria Khosen says, happy birthday. Everyone's saying happy birthday. How do these people sleep at night? On Egyptian cotton. Not every person in a nice car is corrupt. No. And I agree. and if we could get rid of this lunacy of worshiping anybody and everybody, of glorifying gangsters at their funerals, for example, then when a nice car drove down the road, we could honestly look at that nice car and that driver and say, for sure that person earned it. But at the moment, I got to tell you, and knowing the behavior of people with money, a lot of people with money don't go and buy 6 million rand Lamborghini Uruses. A lot of people with a lot of money don't do that. A lot of people just don't behave that way. And then some do. I mean, my dream car is a Ferrari. If I've got enough money one day, I'm going to buy one. But I can promise you, if you ever see me in a Ferrari, I never stole the money to get it. I earned it. But at the moment, if I stand on Rivonia Road on a Sunday and watch, or Umhlanga Drive or whatever, watch these fancy cars come past, I really don't know if it was earned. I'm really at the point where I look at someone in a fancy car. When I'm talking about a 5-6 million rand car, I'm really at the point where I look at a car like that and the driver and go, I'm not sure you did it legally. And it shouldn't be like that. But that's where I am. How many people that we've done that? We need to stand together and get our country back. A lot of comments like that. June says, yes, I also drove to Charlotte McCaker and came back. My mirrors were both stolen, as well as my badge on my bonnet. What? These are the things that don't make the news because it's too small. But that's crazy. So
somebody's boarding your car piece by piece.
There's a problem when you go park at Charlotte McCaker and you come back and there's not, your whole car's not there. That's crazy. That's crazy. I can't believe that you go visit someone at a hospital and you park your car in the parking area that's supposed to be enclosed and protected. I can't believe that you would go there, come back and your mirrors and your badge are gone. I've never had that problem, but perhaps you
Somebody's
have.
building their car piece by piece.
It's crazy.
How's that beetle of yours going? What?
Piece by piece. Because I don't steal money, I can't do it fast. Because I have to do it slowly, piece by piece. My goodness. Okay, we're almost at the end of the show. Can you believe it? I hope you found the show entertaining. Well, it wasn't one of our ha-ha shows today, but I felt I couldn't let this pass, because if I left it next week, we wouldn't talk about it, and then it's gone. And I needed to get this off my chest and try and simplify this thing into 10 points. And then also say that we talk about our hospitals and our healthcare system being under-resourced, but we've got a 60-odd billion rand budget in Gauteng. The key word for me is always, in this argument, is always going to be efficiency. To have an efficient healthcare system, you need a system that works, you need people that work, and you need zero large-scale theft. It doesn't help people going to work every day doing the best they can if you've got zero large-scale theft, or you've got a system that doesn't work. We need a system that works, we need people that work, and we need zero large-scale theft.
I've got 2 words for you, Tom.
Yeah?
Data deployment.
Yeah, and it goes, it extends even wider than that, Alistair. If we're going to be honest about this problem, is because each of these people on the inside is dealing with someone on the outside. And often it's big companies, and often it's big billionaires and millionaires and businesses that are doing dodgy things to get government work. It takes
Is it any wonder
two to tango.
People, is it any wonder then that companies like Murray and Roberts, who've been going since 1950 or whatever it is, are suddenly unable to operate anymore?
Just as you say that, haven't they had their own scandals?
They have. I'm pretty sure they have.
I'm just asking. I get it. We talk about construction industry and the problems that companies face there. It's just ludicrous, and it happens in the Cape. Happens in the Cape as well.
Yeah,
the perfect province.
It's all under it. Yeah, yo.
Heather Knickelbein says, I'll be going on holiday. Let's wrap up now with some happiness. I'll be going on holiday Friday for 2 weeks. I look so forward to travel again. Watch the space to where I'm going. We will, Heather. Running around in circles at the moment. If you could go one
Where
place...
you going this time, Heather?
Yeah, if you could go one place right now, where would it be, Alistair? Anywhere in the world. The same question to you in the comments section. And also,
Anywhere
thank you
in the
very
world.
much. People have been pressing the like
you.
button, the heart button, the ha-ha button. 4 people have cried. 10 got angry. Smash that button, and then I won't have to call the cops on you. Smash the button, and you don't get the cops called on you. If you haven't smashed the button, shame on you. Where would you go?
I would.
Where would you
Seychelles.
go? Seychelles.
Seychelles.
You've mentioned that twice now.
It's been a lifelong dream of mine to go and see those big, solid, round, lactose rocks that they have on the coastlines there in the Seychelles.
All right.
They are just one of a kind. That's the only place that there are.
Well, may life take you to the Seychelles someday. Where would I go? I would, after watching the video of my brother leaving, I'd go to Abu Dhabi to go visit my brother. That's what I would do.
Okay.
Okay. I thought you'd say America. Wouldn't you want to go check Utah out, or Idaho, or Oklahoma? Where is it you want to go live? Oklahoma.
Oklahoma.
I wouldn't go Seychelles. I'd go Recce to Oklahoma first to see whether that's where I want to live.
I know I want to live there.
How do you know you want to live
either.
somewhere if you've never been there?
I've been there vicariously through my YouTube following.
Yeah, it's not the same thing. Thea Gates says, the Nederlands.
You're right there.
Thea would be
You're
off
right there.
to the Nederlands. Shame Ninaba says, I'm also going on holiday in 2 weeks. I'm so jealous. Ria Gosen says, about Canada. I'd go to Canada. Canada?
Canada. It's even colder than in Oklahoma, man.
Okay, well, she wants to go there. That's all right. Ria can go to Canada.
But
Nikki
I
Hart says
can't go
she would go
because
to
it's cold.
South America to see the hummingbirds. Have you seen a hummingbird? Goes like this.
Yeah.
A real hummingbird. Those other ones are fake. The ones that just flap their arms around. The real hummingbirds go. Ronald Jarrod would go to Portugal. Unagaida would go to Mother Russia and drink vodka with the Russian aristocracy. Hanadino Diaz says, but in Cape Town. I'd go to Cape Town, but in South Africa. Una would go or Mexico. Shaz de Menen. How do I say that?
The Menazee.
Oh, thank you, Alistair, because I was going to go around in circles there. Shaz de Menazee. De Menazee. I hope I got it right, Shaz. Spain.
No, I hope so too.
Yeah, Spain. Barcelona. I'm on my way to Barcelona for some salt and pepper. Heather Groen says, UK to see my friends that immigrated 3 years ago. June would go to the Maldives. That's the island chain that I'd go to. I go
Maldives is just north of Seychelles, yeah.
Yeah, well, there's not much of it. You just a house with some stilts in the water. It's kind of what the Maldives is, or are, because
They almost got taken out with a tsunami.
You talk about that. Vietnam's getting battered at the moment, and the news story that I don't see anything of in this country is that the Etosha Wildlife Park in Namibia is 30% burned. There's a wildfire spreading through it, and a third of it is gone already. I don't know if you're aware of that. It's crazy.
A friend of mine works at Caprivi, somewhere in Caprivi, and she was talking about elephants getting burned and
yes, a third of the
around.
Etosha National Park is burned, and they send in the army in and trying to control this. It's a tragedy. Mandy Wilson says she'd go to rural Italy. Yeah, Italiano. Para Italiano. Macchiato. Arrabbiata. Margaret Guida says, Mochatina. Oh, Henry, I love it when you speak foreign. Margaret Guida says, I need to go to a remote island right now. Lots of cocktails around. To visit my daughter, says Thea. Helen would go to Sri Lanka to see the elephants. Moira says, I love being at home. Me too. That's why I don't go on holidays. Much to Tanya's disgust. Or Mandy would go to Antarctica. Barbara Ann Glass would go to Switzerland. I would go to Greece, says Anita. Italy for me. Love it, says Dawn. Thanks so much for the update on corruption in our country. It makes me mad. Want to get to have a great evening, baby. Heart, says Emily. My daughter and her family's there. Such a beautiful country. Tom, your hair looks good. It really doesn't at the moment, I promise you, but I just ran a brush through it. Can I teach you how to hum, Tom? I don't think you've mastered it yet. Hum.
I was born under wandering stars.
Tuscany for sure, says Tracy. You make me laugh, says Thea. I make myself laugh sometimes. Sometimes I make myself laugh. So it's a bit of a weird time of the year. I'll stick around for another minute or two. It's a bit of a weird time of the year, isn't it? Because the weather's getting nice now, but we all get depressed. It's a weird thing that happens in Joburg. As the weather starts getting better towards the end of the year, we all go into a bit of a slump. You speak to anyone at the moment.
To go to the coast.
Yeah, well, I think everyone's like, oh no, another year's. As you get older, it's like, what? Another year's gone? I can't believe that. That went by
And
in a
amazingly how
flash.
quickly it goes.
Went by in a flash.
Oh, there's a nice place. Linda Edmondson wants to go to Montana.
It is a nice place, Montana, cowboy country.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. What? Is this true? Glenda Lawrence says a friend of mine in France that our ambassador in France jumped out of a French hotel from the 20... Is that true?
What?
Saying that the ambassador in France jumped out of a French hotel from the 22nd floor.
Wow.
People jumped. Is that where we end the show on an unsubstantiated report of an ambassador flinging themselves out of a 22nd floor window in
He
France?
doesn't want to come home and face the corruption.
So sick and tired of Paris. That wasn't very nice.
I can understand it
Darryl.
if it's Paris, but if it was London, that would be a different story.
Yeah. Yes, it's
Did
true,
you see
says
the
Helen.
fire in Cape Town yesterday?
Yeah, they got it under control. Snow is good. Is that right? It's true, says it. Our ambassador flung themselves off the 22nd floor? Margaret Guider says the Joburgers seem to be getting the blues. That's what happens this time of the year.
Okay.
The ex-police commissioner of South Africa, don't joke.
Becky Credit.
No.
Can't be Becky.
No, it won't be. That would be huge right now. Hold on, let's
They're saying
find out.
you tell, but who
Hold on, let's find out. Let me just move this thing out the way so I can type. Who fell out? I ask such basic questions. And I also type badly, which ambassador fell out of the window in France today? Let's see. Thinking. Don't joke. Nati and Tetwa?
What?
Don't joke. That is huge.
Oh, my word.
My word. He's the former police minister.
Yeah, Nathi Mthethwa is.
And we got this massive commission on at the moment.
Was that?
My word, out of the Hyatt Regency, 22nd floor. So here we go. South African ambassador to France, Nati Mthethwa, former police minister, was found dead on September 30th after reportedly falling from the 22nd window of the Hyatt Regency Hotel in Paris's 17th arrondissement. I think that's how you pronounce it. Preliminary reports indicate he forced open a secure window in a room he just booked. His wife reported him missing after receiving a disturbing text message from him the previous evening. South African Department of International Relations and Cooperation confirmed awareness of the reports, promised a statement once details are verified. That's according to Reuters. The timing of this is unreal. This comes amid the Madlanga Commission inquiry into police corruption, where he was facing allegations of ties to the syndicates.
Joking.
Wow.
This is him not wanting to face the music.
Yes, that's one perfectly plausible one plausible explanation. Well, when I started the show today talking about corruption,
This is, wow.
I didn't expect to end the show on a bombshell. Patsy Riedlinghay says maybe he's part of the current scandal. Well,
It's just, yo.
wow. I think he was expected, I'm sure, to report to the Madlunga Commission.
Most likely. He was on his way back to South Africa or something.
And now he's no more. And
Now he won't be facing anybody.
on that shocking bombshell, we end the show today. I wish I could end it with a smile and a laugh, but that just came in, and I am blown away.
Golly.
And I don't even know how to end the show happily today. I promise you a happy show on Thursday. We'll get Auntie Bev on.
But here we go.
But my word, we were just talking about this. We were just talking about how deep this goes. We were just talking about.
Could this potentially be something? Wow.
And I think that's how I'll end the show too. Wow. Alistair Jameson has been doing duty as our co-host on the Tom London Show out of Primrose,
Thank you, Tom.
Germiston. Thank you, Alistair. He's not sponsored by anyone today, and I don't know, are you as skoks as I am? I know the president likes using that word, but I am shocked. I leave you on in a shocked state today.
In more ways than one. Don't forget, make it a double.
Amen. Wow. Okay, apparently it's all over 403 ENCA, and the news channels are now reporting on it. So I'll be doing what you'll be doing, and that's looking for more details. Also looking to see whether Julius Malema is guilty or not guilty, according to the courts, of discharging a firearm, I think it is. And so big news today. Instead of watching series, I'm going to be watching the news channel. And I think we end the show with a wow. Wow. Did not expect that to be the end of the show today. All right. I wish you a happy and blessed couple of days until we meet again on Thursday. I'll try and get Auntie Bev on with us on Thursday. We have a bit of fun. Today's show, I expected it to be heavy, but I didn't expect it to end on this heavy, my word, this heavy note. I hope your belly's full. I hope you've got someone who loves you. If not, I love you. I hope you pressed the like and the heart and the ha-ha or the angry or the sad or the cry button or whatever. I hope you pressed it. If you didn't, I don't love you as much as the people who do. I'm going to be brutally honest with you. And I hope that you come back to me on Thursday, because I think we need a laugh now. Hey, after a show like today, I think Thursday we need a laugh. Let's have a laugh on Thursday. Join me on Thursday for a fun show. Thanks for joining me. I'm Tom London, and this show was brought to you by Suzuki Rivonia, the home of happy customers.
And don't forget, tell them Tom sent you.